even funny enough, straight into it, we managed to bounce at one another when I was doing a video for Antidote.
I could forget it all in me, won't think about it.
Yes, we're going on, people. It's a little different. Empress nigga here right now. Somebody a little bit uglier, but don't worry. The energy can be hype. DJ Simmons here with Damian Marvay. Marvay,
Sir.
It's been a while for you.
It has been a while. Well, DJ, I see you all the time though, you know. In terms of the circuit, DJ always at many of the events. So although we would have gone to school years ago together, we always still managed to bounce at one another. Even funny enough, straight into it, we managed to bounce at one another when I was doing a video for Antidote.
It's true, it's true.
And it was captured how random we see one another all the time.
Well, let me do that again, then.
Well, actually, it's Antidote, so I gotta do it.
Hey! On the reverse, on the reverse.
Backwards, you gotta do it backwards.
Yes, people, so GineOn, Marvay, so I ain't telling a lie. I'm real proud of you, man. I'm real proud of you. But we know that from time you were singing loud and long. But when people see you up on stage, you must don't understand where all of this energy coming from, man. This artist energy. What part does we came from? What did you feel for that there, Marvay?
The music does get the tickle does get the goosebumps does make you electrified. And before you know it, you got to sing, you know, you got to go, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, music is the ultimate pick-me-up. I could be in a bad mood, hoarse throat, depressed, whatever, but, you know, that's why I love the job for that, because going on stage is the therapy, you know what I mean? Is the release, is the let out. At some point you realize, I could be worried when I get off stage. I'll think about all the crap, family things, money things, whatever afterwards. But for now, I'm having fun, and I hope these people have fun with me also. Let's go on a ride together, you know what I mean? So wherever the crowd is therapy for me. That's where I like to connect every time and not just sing at people, you know what I mean? I got to walk off feeling like I do something, like I live something different than any other time on stage.
Seeing you in action that makes sense for true. But talking about the music, we know you're big in the soca thing right now. He's a big name. Everybody know Marvay now, right?
Pressure.
But we know that where you start though. Like talk about when you used to be singing a cappella and thing, don't say Harrison College and
la da doop doo doo. Big up to Tuma Hill / Next Six, you know, old time name Next Six. Yeah, it would have start from track 5. Like that's that. Big up to Phelan Low.
Wow, that's a name.
Wow, I going right back there. I just remember being in a class 4 in a form 4 room, packing up my bag. Phelan, I was singing something, packing up my bag, and Phelan just come up to me like, well, you don't come and practice with the men? Practice with the men? Out loud in front one? I was already skeptical of singing in front 4 other men in a music room round the corner. Like, I didn't far less go on Harrison College stage and do Music 100 and whatnot, but that's where it would have started. Where it really started was with a big on can or with a broom in a kitchen.
Or the bathroom or something.
Yeah, when the mother was not home. As soon as the car drive off, immediately some Drew Hill or some Boys to Men, or you know. So I'm just grateful to not buckle, because at the time the shyness was rampant. Shyness is still very much there, but the music definitely was like, nah, we ain't got no time for the shyness. You gotta let it out. You are the vessel that is coming out of, so get rid of all that crap.
Well, because honestly, that's what I remember from school, like that shyness, right? Yeah. And then I remember seeing you on stage with Buggy and Shane Free.
Red Alarm. Boom, boom. Big up to Shane Free, big up to Buggy Luggy.
Tell me about Buggington B. But tell me about that love and passion for reggae music now.
Well, you know, the story is, at the time I was seeking, I remember coming out of university and I was seeking record deal. And I would have went to New York hoping for record deal and noticing I was staying on my brother's couch for 4 or 5 months in that fall of that year. And I did manage to meet some people and whatnot, but the main person I met was Rock Welder. And Rock Welder said to me, you need to go back home. I love the demo, I love your music, but when you go back home, and I want you to fill out yourself some more. He may even physically was like, man, I want you gotta be sexy for the girls, you gotta sing in your country and I really took that to heart, because I didn't want anybody up there to tell me to be like them, to stay in America and do American things and American pop and whatever. I like the fact he was telling me go back home, find a band, find something at home. So I set about this, sitting on back on the couch like, so what music I like the most that I could sing at home? I love reggae music. You can sing reggae music in a band, like nightly and stuff, you know what I mean? So it did turn into that. Shane would have called me because at the time I was going to check in strategy in shipping on Thursday nights, and Shane was playing with them at the time. He would have heard me feature on a little Come Close song, whatever, little something here or there. And before I know it, here I was in a rehearsal space with these men, and then I realized I can't sing with this. I attempted the first, whoa, but the first Bob Marley, and I said, no boy. And that first 2-3 months, I was like, well, you made the attempt. You went to the band, you found the source, the music you love. These men seem to appreciate you, but you're about to embarrass yourself and fail miserably. But luckily enough, that first loud session really dig into me about my tone and the projection. And from then it was about what to do when the band quiet and the changing songs. Hi, how's everybody out there doing? You know what I mean? It was a major learning process. I hear my, what I call the third voice for the first time, Bob Marley and Barrington Levy and Sasha and Jack Hure show me, hey, you know, I mean, I dabble in it in the gospel vibes. I love gospel music, Kurt Franklin, Fred Hammond, Yolanda Adams for the teenage years, but I will always be in awe of these people, like, but how they can sing so loud and so high and so hard. So Red Alarm was the start at a late stage in hearing that sound, to compete with the drums, to compete with the guitars, Shane guitars, or Buggy, you know what I mean? Buggy coming up with his voice like, yeah, with the man's in better. Oh God, oh gosh, how you need to step it up. So it was a long process to come right about around from trying to get a record deal at the time to being in a band for years and living in New York and giving up. Raising son, living in New York, for it to still come. The music never left me. I never left it. You always just give it another nudge, another little moment, and it gave me a break.
Now, the way how you talking about music, right, is almost like music is a science to you, Damien. How you see music? Because if you was giving some person a vocal, if you was giving me a vocal lesson right now, Damien, how you would get me to understand music like how you do?
Ups and downs. Da da ba ba ba, ba dum ba dum 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 da da dum da da dum da, dee 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 da dum 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 da da dum da da dum da.
Have a track.
Dee 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 dee. You know what I mean? Like, I see it as just is ebbs and flows. Sometimes it's ebb strong and sometimes it's ebb soft, and I love that. For me, I drive in the car, but the car just tell me, the car just give me thrills at times, and it's like, yes. Do that again, I like that, woo, you know what I mean? And then it's like, like, what the hell I just do on stage? That was okay, you know, but it is always a new uncharted territory. Even with the same song you sing 1 billion times, you know what I mean? I see it as, from the time I hear the first few notes and I hear, okay, so every time you breathe into it, what you're feeling in them first few notes. And usually, yeah, it's climbing mountains and going down valleys. Jumping off of some cliffs, skydiving with a big parachute. Usually the best if you got 5 of the men or females there. I'm like, oh, that's what the drums sound. I can fit in this pocket right there with them drums. Oh gosh, that guitar solo sound great. I can sing along with that. Like, it's just a beautiful mess.
I would never forget, I believe it used to be Sunday nights, some Wednesday nights that were jamming. And watching you, whether it's with Shane or Simon or whoever, but seeing you in action with your original music. I believe there's a song, it's called,
oh, you're talking about
These Woods.
I always stay near to the trees. Yes, yeah. That was a special song for me at the time.
How songwriting does go for you? How that process is be for you?
That was 10 minutes sitting on the trunk of my car in Dover Woods. I was looking on it. Honestly, how it started was Wally, big up Wally. He had called me at the time. He's a well-known entity in Barbados circuit. He had called me at the time to be part of this band, to lead sing for this band. And I was looking for a name, and I went to task to find a name. And I was sitting in the woods, and I was like, the woods? Man, it's got all kind of crazy names. Boy George and the Culture Club. You know what I mean? What's wrong with woods? And then my very next thought was, you should have a song for that band. No, don't write a song for the band, Damien. But how else are you going to fall in love with this term, these woods, if you don't have it to sing when the night start? So I immediately was like, whoop. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. ba ba bum bum ba da dum. And immediately, it was like, I always stay near to the trees. No, there is no fear. I do as I please. Come along and burn it down in these woods. The song wrote itself. And I did sing said song with band, but band did not work out in the end. But song survived. And I remember I sang it with, where most people remember from the starting was Next 6 by Naru, South Coast, which was like the first
Mahina's Corner.
Yes. And that was the first. I was very scared. Like, it just was one of them things. That song still is. Thank you for mentioning. That song is still very meaningful to me. As I think about it, I think about that whole phase of time.
They got people know that sing that it's soca fusion that you're doing, right? It may not exactly be soca music. It might be like more R&B and stuff like that. To my knowledge, to my thinking, Rupi had started doing stuff like this years back, Kevin Little, that kind of thing. But what is your approach? Why was this the direction in terms of how you get approach soca music? This type of vibe, this sweet vibe.
To me, all I can say is, as I would have started with the Red Boys, because the thing is, I started with Chris Allman in fusions in university. Where that's the thing. Like, yes, I was listening to music, Soul Child, Jill Scott, Lauryn Hill, all, you know, Jay Dilla, anything, Slum Village, anything, Tribe Called Quest, anything, Wu-Tang, you know what I mean? At the time, I was so steeped in R&B and whatnot, but the minute I started with Chris Allman, although Chris Allman had other genres within him, it was crop over time. I was home from university. Chris Allman at Slam City does soca music. So it was just Chris and me coming together. You know what I mean? I never had a prescription on what the music was to necessarily sound under me. Just wanted to feel a certain way. So I'm glad that he was accepting and encouraging to say, yeah, do that. Do all of that. More harmonies. We're doing more harmonies, everything. And I was like, people not gonna like this. I remember one very big soca star at the time who was in the studio straight had said, nobody's gonna like that fusion stuff, they mean it too sweet. Wow. It's not what soca music is. It don't make you move. So long story short, going through the whole ebb and flows with reggae music, raised son in New York, come back around, back in Barbados performing reggae, soul, pop, different things. Being approached by Red Boys, it was the same feeling of that's what they do, what is what they do, how does that sound together? So therefore, I can't just come with the generic topics, and I can't come with generic melodies, and that's all my thought process is. I got to feel like I'm singing the same way it was when I in the middle of a bob, the same feeling, and it still got to cater to anybody that loves soca music that want chip or have signed a jam to. So yeah, it was a lot of trepidation the first year. That Survive the Weekend year I was at, they can kick me right out. I can enter the door and they can say goodbye. And they did not. Then the next year I especially was like, well, if there's any song here that they can say is way too sweet, is this No The Face one? They can definitely kick me out the door this time. And they did not. So I feel very grateful that I was allowed how I am to work with the soca music and people appreciate it. Of course there's naysayers that want something rough. I love something rough too.
I jot down.
Yeah, it's different gears. It's just different. It's just different gears.
We know singing for competition is always a whole different kettle of fish. And we know you went through these struggles with year one, Survive the Weekend. I can tell you, I have broken my heart, enough people's hearts, because everybody was rooting for you. So to come from Survive the Weekend, the disappointment there, and then the next following year to come all the way up to second place. It was second place, right, with No The Face? Yeah. Like, how carry me through that journey?
That first year, that was my fault. Panic, anxiety vibes. There was a situation that same Friday night with the semi-finals where my manager had to go back home to try and get the wristbands on your hand that is mentioned in this song. And the man was in the house trying to rob the house with her child caretaker and her son kid in there. So I had a freak out backstage, and then my chain that her mother Marcia made, because I like handmade chains, you know what I mean? Right. This isn't it. This one from a guy in Trinidad, but it just converged in a very awkward, anxious moment. And I'm aware how my anxieties play out to people, you know what I mean? But it was a big learning process, because again, coming from shy, don't really check for me, just listen to the music, to here comes all the gossip and the talking and the whatnot. But I always go back to the next day, the Saturday, because that entire day I was pacing up and down saying, that's it. I have destroyed this. And I had to pick myself up that 1 o'clock and say, well, you have a big show tonight. So are we going to press this blazer, get these clothes together and go down the road and confront all of this energy? Or are we going to just wither away and go away? And I said, no, boy, if there's one thing that happened in here, it ain't no falling back. Like, I understand myself, and I got to fight to keep representing. I am not a horrible, bloody person, okay? So I went early, and I normally, it'd be hard for me to get this in early because the anxieties and whatnot to make sure everything perfect to that point. But I purposely sit on there, first person parking in the parking lot, and allow everybody to come in. Marvay, what happened last night, man? Everybody had you to. My disappointment. Listen, man, I got next year, man. But just flooded with it one time. Every band member, people that was coming in to watch the tent, you know what I mean? So it immediately reminded me, one, of the stake, the energy that I need to keep up, because people are expecting positive energy, and also that people got my back, that people actually will understand you if you be straight with them and honest with them. They will understand your faults, your negatives, your positives, you know what I mean? If you just don't back away and shy away, just be upfront if he's a cool person and be cool. So from that moment, that Saturday, it rekindled any moments of, you know, I am the me going through this process, and I got to represent the right energy. I went on stage. As far as I was concerned, that night was my semi-final performance all over again for me, to that crowd at Big Show. And to swing right around into the next year, it just, again, the same feelings of you gotta stay on a level. These people really supporting your energy, and they can love anything they want in the world. They can love any kind of music, any kind of movies, whatever, and they're choosing to get vibes off of yours.
Snaps coming from this song.
You better, like, really, you know, give it your best. So to come right around full circle, as you said, to be on Bushy Park, to make it to the final land next year, it was a good redemption to me, for myself first, to prove that I wasn't a flash in the pan, and that I do take it seriously, and that I do care about people loving the music. So a lot of people tell me, man, you get robbed out that year, but second to Edwin Yearwood, people, that's peace sign over Delhi. Come now, pop me up. Hello, standing on a stage, TC, bye. Like, all I kept going back to my main memory, and I sure as I get older and older, is of being a teenager, watching it on TV, seeing the lineup, watching everybody body language, and who getting called for third and who getting called for second, and in the car, and you're watching all of this spectacle, and you're like, you know, that's seemed like a nice thing. Look at Barbadians doing things for Barbadians, and then all of a sudden, bling, I on the stage. In fact, when they called my name for second, I was just still like, I was still just at. Boy, give thanks, boy. This is Damien Marvay. Right. Oh, and then, me. Right. And then the People's Monarch thing, and then the Barbados Champion thing. Like, it was like a dream.